All right, what's going on, everyone? We're going to talk some Dandadan today. Obviously, the new episode came out. I want to talk about the new episode. I want to talk about what we have left, because there isn't a lot left. And then from there, I'll probably just read some manga, play some catch-up. I don't know what I'll read today, but we definitely have some ranting to do today, for sure. We got Justin in the chat. What's going on, Justin? How you doing? Justin, who do you think is gonna win tonight? The Cowboys or who is it? It's the Cowboys and who? Cowboys and Eagles. I would probably say Eagles. Excuse me. Yeah, so the new Dandadan episode came out, and people were joking when the previews came out for this episode that they made Rin and Okarun look exactly the same. Excuse me, 1 second. We got Nacho Turtle and Nahush. What's going on? We got Edens. What's going on, Edens? Anyway, yeah, so I jokingly put thumbnail title, you know, you can copy, but make sure it looks different. If you go on Twitter, somebody actually edited Rin with Okarun's haircut, and she looks exactly like Okarun. And people were even joking that Okarun, Rin, and even Kinta look exactly the same, more or less, right? And it does sort of support this idea that Dandadan characters all kind of look the same. Which is true to an extent. I think part of the problem is Tatsu makes the characters very simple. So, they naturally look very similar because they're not like crazy detailed. It's the same reason Ira and Momo kind of look the same, because like their faces are like basically using the same parts, right? It's a very simple style. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've seen people recently say Tatsu has same face syndrome. I'm trying to think of what the polar opposite would be. Black Clover was always good about that, making the characters look different. Jujutsu Kaisen, kind of. What would you guys say is like a really good example of like characters looking unique, like especially female characters? The amount of times I've confused Ira with Momo is crazy. Well, the one with Ira and Momo is they both have like really messy hair. So like in the manga, it's easier to confuse them, for sure. Have you heard about this manga called No Name? It's by somebody who made Cyberpunk Edgerunners. No, but I'll have to check it out because I love Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Eden says, I'm working on a video idea. Yeah, I'll have to hit you up after the stream. Don't want you giving away your trade secrets. I thought IRL you would always wear a suit. No, not always. I do try to dress up, but I don't always wear a suit. Speaking of which, look out for the next video because I finally got like the video characters to match my profile picture. It was long overdue. I should have done it when I got the new profile picture. But yeah, look out for that this weekend. I think you'll really love it. No Name. Yeah, no, if it's got like something in common with Cyberpunk Edgerunners, I'll definitely give it a read. Yeah, so Dandadan's art style is, there's pros and cons to it. Anybody read Seraph of the End? Seraph of the End is so funny because it's got to have at least one season, right? Seraph of the End. How many seasons are there of the anime? Is it just one season? If you were to have an arc of Dandadan in Massachusetts, what would you implement? It would have to be in Salem, Mass, because Salem, Mass is so spooky. Yeah, so I don't know about Seraph of the End. I know Seraph of the End it's got 2 seasons. Okay, thank you. I know that's a series that I haven't checked it out yet. It's like one of those, what is it, is that Jump Square, Jump SQ? Is that the magazine? It's one of those series that like you never really see people talk about, but the fandom is pretty active. And if it does go viral for some reason, it's usually because the fandom is like losing their mind. So people who like Seraph of the End tell me that the fandom is like batshit crazy. It like basically has dystopian setting where government decides what your name and personality will be. Interesting. Do you like Kenta's dub voice actor? I thought I saw a clip, but I don't really watch the dub, so I don't know. I would like to binge the whole Dandadan dub because I've been thinking of doing a video on dub anime for a while, but I don't know if I'll do it because I don't think people care so much, right? I swear no manga YouTubers ever talk about Seraph. Well, part of the reason is because there's no anime. Like there is, but like, are there even talks of a new season? The thing you have to understand is people are only going to make stuff on what people want, right? And what people want is like what's popular. So if it's not popular, people aren't going to talk about it. Yeah, so I mean, if you look up Seraph of the End, it gets views. It's just, I mean, Trash Taste 5 years ago said, does anybody remember Seraph of the End? So the fact that people were saying that 5 years ago, it's like, it's a long ass, time since. I mean, Seraph of the End Vampire Reign, I'm guessing that's the second season maybe. Or is that the first season? I don't know, but that was 10 years ago. So like, that's the other thing too. Like, unless you're One Piece, it's kind of hard to make relevant videos on a series that's 10 years old. What are my thoughts on the Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 trailer? It looks kind of hype. It looks really good. It looks at least as good as Season 2. I was pleasantly surprised to see people, turn out for Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought people were like done with the Jujutsu Kaisen. Like after the manga ending, people were like, this sucks. But I think it was recent enough, that I think there's two things going on. It's still, it's like, okay, three things. It's enough time has passed that people don't really care about the manga ending anymore. It's recent enough that like the legacy of the manga hasn't ruined it for anime onlys. And then the other thing is, there's a bigger disconnect between manga readers and anime fans, because Jujutsu Kaisen is so big that there's definitely more anime onlys than manga readers. So like, manga readers are a minority. Contrast to something like Tokyo Revengers, where it was at least 50-50, probably more manga readers than anime viewers. So when Tokyo Revengers ended and nobody liked it, it kind of ruined it for anime fans. But with Jujutsu Kaisen, because there's way more anime fans, whatever the manga fans say, in a lot of cases, like, they don't even know about. No, not at all. Have you seen how fast the spin-off leaks came out? Wait a minute. What do you mean by not at all? I said a few things there. That's just the leakers, because leakers are probably the most disingenuous group in the anime and manga community, because they talk about how, they're doing it for the community. They're doing it because they want better translations, right? But they're totally doing it for the money, right? Like, they're not making, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they're making money doing that. So if you think they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart, you are a sucker. Like, you're an idiot. People are still hyped for anything JJK related. Okay, yeah, I agree. Again, I'm baffled, because I thought the reaction to Jujutsu Kaisen's ending would have killed hype for the anime. I think so I said three things contributing to that. Another fourth thing is, I just think there's a wicked amount of copium, and I think you're going to see a lot of people holding out hope for MAPPA to fix the ending, and I don't think that's going to happen. Not even close. What's your pick for best anime movie? Just watched Your Last Name last night, and I'd put it at number 1. I haven't watched enough anime movies. For example, I haven't even seen the Ghibli movies. That's something I need to do soon. I like DBS Broly. That's a good one. Out of the One Piece movies, I would probably say I don't know. There's so many good One Piece movies. I would say for One Piece, it's between One Piece Film Gold and One Piece Stampede. Those are both really fun to watch. What is your opinion on Monsters We Make? If you've read it, I have not read it. Is that the Corey Kenshin manga? The anime has the chance to fix all the JJK story issues, but they won't do it. But at least the animation looks great. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, they're going to make the fights look really good, but there's also a bunch of off-screen fights, so what do you do there? They could always extend stuff, but they're not going to fix, like, the underlying problems. Film Red, definitely for me. Okay, yeah, no, I agree. That's fair. Film Red is also very good. I think the difference between that and Tokyo Revengers is that in Tokyo Revengers case, it was several arcs at the end that didn't have the same quality, as well as memes making the perception worse. Yeah, so they're adapting Tatsuki Fujimoto's one-shots this fall. And it's also on Amazon. Amazon is making some very interesting moves in the anime world. They just added Crunchyroll to Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can buy subscriptions to other streaming services. And they just added Crunchyroll. So before they were trying to do anime originals, and like they're still kind of doing that, like with Panty and Stocking, but now they have Crunchyroll. So that's kind of their answer to catching up in the market. But I think they're still going to try and compete with Netflix and Crunchyroll and get more anime originals. Which is what you see with the Fujimoto one-shots. So that being said, if you see a Fire Punch announcement, there's a 50-50 chance it'll either be there's a good chance that Amazon would fight for the rights, fight for exclusive rights to stream Fire Punch, because they're doing so well with first it was Look Back, and then now it's the one-shots. What anime YouTubers would you want to see box in a boxing event? It's kind of hard because so many channels are faceless, but you know who I think would be funny is Masked Man and then Scamboli Reviews, because they're kind of cool, so I think that would be funny. They just had if you follow like anime TikTok at all, Weeb Commander is one popular person, and then James Mata, I forget his name. They're pretty big on anime TikTok. They actually did a boxing event. I'm trying to think. Back when Pokesel was still uploading videos, I would have said Pokesel. Throw some mitts on. Let's go. We're going 5 rounds. But I don't know. I don't know who I could maybe Eden's. Eden's, if you want to throw hands sometimes, we can throw hands. Yeah, I think season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be really, really popular now that I've seen the reaction to the trailer. I think it's going to be at least as popular as season 2, if not more. But back to Tokyo Revengers. like the friends we made along the way chapter. Yeah, but the thing with Tokyo Revengers was, honestly, if you ask me, I think it was perfect right up until the last arc. So like when I say arc, I mean everything before, I'm trying to not spoil this. Everything before what should have been the final time leap back. Like before Senju, basically. Everything before Senju, I think was perfect for the most part. Even then, there were some story issues, but I think it was good. Are you going to read the JJK spinoff or like keep up with it? I'm definitely going to read it because I want to see what the heck they're doing with that and like if they expand anything or like if they just do a bunch of nonsense. We got Oscar in the chat. What's going on, Oscar? Pleasure to have you. Good to see you. It's been a hot minute. How you doing today? I agree, but apparently the last arc is several. Yeah, I think it's technically 2 arcs. So that much makes sense. Do you think Soul Eater will get a remake when Fire Force Season 3 is done? I did a video on that, if you want to see my full thoughts. But I'm like 50-50 on it. I don't know. It kind of depends on who has the rights to do it. Am I aware of the ProZD controversy? Yeah, I saw something about that. It's just people on Twitter trying to sound smart, flaming people. As far as I saw, he never actually said anything controversial. It was just people trying to get him canceled when he never actually said anything. At least that's what I saw. I looked at it for like 2 seconds. Excuse me. They'll probably show more Akari versus Urame. Bro, I'm not getting my hopes up for that because Akutami already ripped my heart out when he did that. I've read One Piece up to chapter 386, so I'm already exactly 1/3 of the way through the manga. That's awesome. What have you watched of the anime, if anything? Because the manga and the anime are like wild. I'm going to say something and then clarify that manga and the anime are wildly at different experiences. Reading the manga, like you're just getting pure One Piece, but watching the anime is like required reading for One Piece fans because there's like a whole timeline of the One Piece fan experience that you completely miss out on if you don't watch it. Like the walk to Arlong Park means something completely different when you watch it in the anime. In the manga, like it's nothing. Like it's cool, but it's just whatever. But watching that in the anime with the specific track that plays in the way they hype it up, totally different. And there's a bunch of scenes like that. That's right, I read every manga from start to finish, regardless of whether I'm currently watching the One Piece anime. I'm going to do it. Yeah, One Piece is definitely worth it. I mean, that's what I did with Shaman King. I read that beginning to end, even though it's like, I think like, what, like 400 something chapters? I do that with every manga. It doesn't matter. I always read it start to finish. And if I reread, I don't skip anything. I reread start to finish. If Oda dies before One Piece is finished, do you think AI will be used to finish the story? I don't think they'll use AI. I think they'll do like what they're doing with Berserk. They'll get somebody who was involved or knew the author, get some context, some notes, use those for as long as they can, and then kind of wrap things up with their own original ending. Would I like to see a sci-fi fantasy shonen anime based off of Robin Hood? Andre, I think you told me about this. This sounds very familiar, but my answer is yes. When you finish Jormungand, will you do a comparison of Black Lagoon? What's the comparison? Are they the same studio? Is it the same writer? What's the comparison? Sorry, I was looking at my phone. Not like some people who catch up on the anime and then jump to the manga. Just kidding, you don't have to read everything. It goes both ways, so. Let's see Pirate with a $2 donation. Sorry about the Massachusetts comments. No, that's okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. And friendly reminder, if you ever have a burning question and you want me to answer it right away, make sure to support the channel, me and my editors, by dropping a super chat. Sorry about the Massachusetts questions. What was your last question? I know you had one. No, I guess not. They're both very similar in terms of being an action gun-ho anime. Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely want to check out Jormungand, because I love Black Lagoon. So if they're similar, it'll be right up my alley. Anything like John Wick-esque. Being one of the few people who Oda told the ending to is probably a crazy feeling. Well, he told all the editors, or he told a bunch of people that know. But like editors knowing, like One Piece team knowing versus fans knowing, very different. Like if you tell the team, right, like they work and like they're your friends, so they're like, oh wow, that's so cool. Versus like if you told a fan's gonna rip it apart. They're gonna be like, what? So Oscar watched the anime first, then the live action, then the manga, and then the remake. I'll rewatch the story 4 times, and each time it'll be different. Fair. Also, which DC Comics superhero would you like to see get an anime series by Studio Trigger? Oh my god, that is such a good question. God, I love that question. What DC? I don't want to say Justice League, but that would be like my, I can't think of anything default answer. That's so tough because I feel like they would be better with Marvel, because Marvel is like kind of wackier, whereas like DC Comics are very like old school, very, you know, take it seriously. I almost want to say Batman, but not like, you know, Halloween or whatever, Killing Joke Batman, but like Bat Family Batman, and do like it, like do it like kind of cute, right? Like the whole Bat family. But I don't know, that's a toughie. You know, actually, you know what? I would do either Bat Family Batman anime or Dark Justice League Batman, Zatanna, John Constantine, and like all the like dark characters, because I feel like that would be something wackier that isn't like classic DC, right, where they have to be like super serious. That's the thing about the Dark Justice League, is like it's darker, but you can kind of like not be so serious about it. That would be my answer. But I would rather Trigger do either like the X-Men or I already said X-Men, so I can't say Deadpool. I don't know, probably X-Men. I feel like if we're gonna do comic books, I feel like the best thing for them to do is X-Men, because they're very good with like creating fun casts of characters, and especially like younger characters, right? Gurren Lagann, Trigger, even Cyberpunk, they were relatively younger. So I feel like they if they were going to do comics, I feel like the best option would be the X-Men. Excuse me. Dead Sea Pirate, do I recommend Rhode Island? Rhode Island is okay. It's just very small and there's like nothing there unless you live in like one of the seaport towns, but that can be very expensive. Do you think we'll see a Dandadan gender swap chapter? Maybe like a couple of chapters. That I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that in Dandadan. But I don't know. I feel like that's kind of an old trend. Like they don't really do that anymore. Female Okaroon and male Momo would be wild. Male Momo would literally just be like Josuke. Male Momo would literally just be Josuke in gym shorts and an oversized sweater. And then female Okaroon would literally just be Rin. Like if they gender swapped Okaroon, you wouldn't be able to tell him apart from Rin. Would you like to see a new Spider-Man anime? Oh, that's what I should have said. I would say some kind of Batman anime, some kind of X-Men anime, or anything Spider-Man. I feel like Trigger would murder with a Spider-Man anime. Would you like to see a new Spider-Man anime where it's set with an alternate universe where he was actually born with his spider powers as a mutant instead of being bitten by a radioactive spider? That could work, but I feel like that kind of ruins the point of Peter Parker, because Peter Parker, even like Miles Morales, they have to like get to that coming of age point before they get their superpowers. So like if they already have experience with their superpowers, it's like it kind of completely changes their character, and it kind of like undermines the whole like, you know, with great powers comes great responsibility, because then he would basically be Boruto, right? That's the question you have to ask, is like, would you want Spider-Man except it's Boruto? Which is like, right? How strong do you think Figarland Garling is? I think he's stronger than Emu. I think it would be pretty close, for sure. We got Callie's Fitness Bro saying, what's up, chat? How you doing, Callie's? Pleasure to have you. What am I looking at? Well, you're looking at me. And then we're just kind of ranting about anime. If an anime is created entirely by AI, does that take away from the project, hurt its viewing experience? I have two positions on AI. Aesthetically, like performatively, I don't care about AI. It's still very early, so like you can tell when something is done by AI. If AI wasn't like ethically bad, I wouldn't mind it. But that's the performance of it. The ethics of it is AI is based solely on taking things from other people and basing the program on that. So any AI art means they took a bunch of art from other people and used it to make AI art. Now, ordinarily, that wouldn't be a problem, but the reality is that, you know, most times they're taking art by just ripping it from Google and not reaching out to artists, or not even paying artists for their art, right? So it's stealing. So that's why I don't, at least the way things are now, I don't support AI art. Speaking of reading manga, besides One Piece and Dandadan, another manga I plan to read regularly is the series that recently got an anime adaptation, Gachiakuta. That's awesome. I've been saying for a while that Dandadan and Gachiakuta are neck and neck for like the top ongoing manga. So I would recommend it. I would recommend it to everybody. And OG, the dubbing for Coco sounds different than the original audio. Okay. Heard. I'm currently on chapter 24 and have the same plan as Dandadan, reading the chapters as the new episodes come out, and when the anime ends, I'll branch out and catch up on the manga. I'm just going to tell you right now, the manga binge of Dandadan is going to be life-changing. It's bonkers what happens. Like, you're gonna come back to stream and you're gonna be like, I have so many things to say. I have all the things to say. We need to talk about it, right? You're gonna be obnoxious, and I can't wait. One thing I would like to say is it's crazy how popular, and this is going to be a transition into the spring or the summer anime. It's summer anime, excuse me. It's crazy to me how popular panty and stocking has become. It feels like it's trending every week now, like every time they drop a new episode. And to be fair, it's partly because of drama and controversy, but it's mostly because the episodes are just so goddamn good. Like, the animation is better. I lost my train of thought. The animation is better. The writing is so much better. It's like still goofy and, you know, crude, but like they've also cleaned up the writing, and like they're really diving deep into the characters. Like, as much as people hated the newest episode for obvious reasons, it was like one of the best episodes. Like, they took Nisox, a character with like barely any characterization, and made her like one of the coolest characters in the whole series. So I love panty and stocking, and as weird as it is, and as much as people like fake want to cancel it, I think this current season is 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I don't like how much they reuse the same tracks. I misunderstood you. You've been caught up to Dandadan for a while. Yeah, now that you say that, I was kind of confused because I was like, oh wait, he's here for the chapter reviews. So that makes more sense. Oopsie. Would I watch a new isekai where a nerdy mythology buff gets reincarnated as an Amazon warrior? Yeah, that sounds pretty dope. I'd watch that. Panty and Stocking gets updates about as regularly as a Linux gets a Windows update. I don't have a Linux, so I don't know. If it's getting updates at all, that's a net positive. Well, it has a new season out, so I don't know what you're talking about. And it gets a new episode every week, so I don't know what you mean. I'm surprised. I wasn't a fan after the first 2 episodes and didn't really enjoy it, But ever since we descended into the abyss and met the other characters, the series has gotten 200% better, and I'm slowly becoming a fan. I didn't think my attitude would change like this. Gachiakuta is very much a slow burn for the first, like, 70 chapters, something like that. 50-ish chapters. It's very character driven. Well, it's unique in how it fleshes out its characters. Like, it gives you a healthy amount of characters, but it doesn't, like, lore dump you their backstories. It fleshes out the characters purely through character dynamics and interactions. Like, that's how you get to know the characters. And once you've done enough of that for like 100 chapters, that's when you start to get backstories, which is very different from your typical manga where you meet a character and then like 5 chapters later you get their whole life story. Very different, which I like. I like that. But I want to look at the seasonal rankings. So if we go to live chart, I know Gachiakuta is number 1 on Crunchyroll. So this is the fall anime. I want to look at summer. So that's weird. Live chart has it. Live chart has Gachiakuta number 9 for the summer, but it's number 2 for the fall. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. But the takeaway for Gachiakuta is its stocks are up. People were hyped for it before episode 1. The first few episodes flopped because the opening was not visually interesting. The first episode was like good. It takes a while to get into it, and then on top of that they took like a week or 2 off. So yeah, but now it's back and people are really getting into it. So I think by the time it finishes towards the end of the year, Gachiakuta is going to be a borderline mainstream anime. I think Gachiakuta is going to be in the same position My Hero was in, where My Hero really didn't get popular till the end of season 1, and then everyone was excited for season 2. So it wasn't until season 2 that like it really hit its first stride of mainstream popularity. I think that's what's going to happen with Gachiakuta. It's not going to be until season 2 where it's like really popular, if that happens. I'd say 40-ish chapters, because the first big arc starts around 48. Yeah, it's like something like that. The arc with Jabber is like chapter 30-ish, I think. And then they have the arc with Amo. So it depends on what you count as that. What's a cooler character design feature? Eye patch or metal arm? It depends on the execution, but I would say metal arm for sure. Yeah, the first chapter and first episode of Gachiakuta are very dramatic, so that can be a hit or miss. Like for me, when I first read that chapter, I was like, all right, this chapter's a little too edgy. Like, it's very, it needs to chill out, right? Other people, they're like, this is gas, this is fire, right? It's like, it's pretty good. What's more mid, Sakamoto Days or Demon Slayer? Well, I feel like throwing them both in mid is a bit rude. But Sakamoto Days, for sure. what is Gachiakuta? I've been hearing about it and here and there. It is the spiritual successor of Fire Force. The creator was an assistant on Fire Force. Think of it as Soul Eater, but steampunk. So not Halloween themed, steampunk. And with a much more nuanced power system. That is basically how I would describe it. The character writing is awesome. The world building is awesome. And the way the plot plays out and builds up is addicting. So I would highly recommend it. Anime and manga. So anyway, let's look at the summer rankings, which are basically over now because we have like a month left of the summer season. Dandadan, obviously, number 1. Dress Up Darling. Dress Up Darling stocks, like, they're in a weird position. I feel like people are like shadow watching Dress Up Darling. It was pretty popular in the beginning of the season, but I don't really see people talking about it. I feel like I see more people talk about Panty and Stocking and Fragrant Flower than Dress Up Darling. I'm very curious to see, because Fragrant Flower isn't even available to the rest of the world on Netflix yet, and it's already number 4 behind Dandadan, Dress Up Darling, and Kaiji number 8. So I think when it comes out on Netflix, it's going to be like the third or second most popular anime at the moment. Dr. Stone is what, like top 23, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's about what I expected for Dr. Stone. I think I haven't watched the second core yet, so at this point I'm probably just going to wait for it to finish and then binge it. That was not intentional. That's just how things played out for me. So yeah. All right, so I do want to look at where we're at for the fall season. One Punch Man is currently rated as the number 1 fall anime, so like the number 1 anticipated fall anime. I do not know how that's going to play out. I think One Punch Man is still going to be popular just because of the characters and the story, but I am not expecting it to look good. I think maybe there might be slight improvements from season 2, but it's JC Staff, and JC Staff is arguably the worst studio in the last few years, so I don't have high hopes. So then it's Gachiakuta, that makes sense. And then it's Spy Family Season 3. It's technically One Piece, but I feel like that doesn't count. I don't know what the reaction to Spy Family Season 3 is going to be. I think it's still going to be popular. It's definitely not going to be as popular as the very first season was. I don't know. I am kind of curious to see where Spy Family rests in like the top 5. My Hero final season, I think, is going to be popular. It's really the only big battle series besides One Punch Man. And honestly, One Punch Man, like, I don't know. It's going to be a fight between My Hero and One Punch Man, for sure. There's also a lot of other anime that we're not thinking of here. So the Chainsaw Man movie comes out September/October. The one-shots are going to come out, what did they say, October, right? So there's those too. So there's going to be a lot of stuff to look forward to for the fall season. Maid Cafe or Capybara Cafe, I guess Maid Cafe. What happened at JC staff? They just stopped trying. Like literally all of their anime, just lazy and not good looking. Dr. Stone has been really good. That's good. I've been seeing people talking about the episodes, saying they look good. And I've been seeing it not like trending, but like relevant. So I'm definitely excited to binge those episodes, but it's so late in the season. There's really no point in catching up. Do you think Blackbeard is the one to take down Emu and become the Pirate King? That would be a twist. I like half expect that to happen. I like half expect Blackbeard to kill Emu and then Luffy has to kill like King Blackbeard or something like that. Dandadan really got my attention after the Hayashi episode. The Hayashi episode was surprisingly popular. I thought it was going to be like, you know, oh, whatever, this is kind of cool. But they really went out with that episode. And it was awesome to see so many people get excited for that. Who's the best anime villain? My favorite is probably, off the top of my head, Dio from JoJo. I just think he's like the ultimate hater. What do we got for time? Where are we at? I think we'll take a brief look at the Manga Plus ratings and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. One Piece, Chainsaw Man, Boruto. So Chainsaw Man, I think, actually moved up because I think Boruto is usually number 2. So that's crazy. Black Clover still number 5, showing Black Clover fans are just as strong as ever. Centauria fans at number 10, nice. Fighting Girls, which is from Taizone 5, 11, that's good. Hero Organization is at 17, so Hero Organization is like slowly moving up the ladder, which is nice. Odor of the Flame is at 21, which is good. It's like right in the middle. Martial King is 20, so it's holding strong. Kaetagami is at 29, which is not great. I suspect it'll make a comeback in a few weeks, but it makes sense because it was popular for a real. It was like in the number 10 for like 5 or 10 chapters, which is crazy. Kyoshi is 31, which is good because it was at 35 for a while, so it's slowly pacing up. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with Kyoshi. And then we got Marriage Toxin at 33. They still keep I don't know if they've officially announced it yet or they've just teased it, but Marriage Toxin is probably gonna get an anime, which I think is gonna be super popular. That's just me though. It also depends on when it comes out. Seraph of the End, funny enough, number 38. So people still reading Seraph of the End. Any classic anime you wish someone would remake or expand on? I wish they would make actually good, fully adapted 2D Berserk anime. It would go crazy. I just don't know who should do it. I wouldn't want Mappa to do it. I don't think Mappa's style fits Berserk. Honestly, I would probably say Science Saru. I feel like Science Saru would be the best studio to do it. Yeah, that would probably be my voucher. Anyway, that is going to be it for today's stream. Thanks everybody for a great turnout as always. Great conversation. I'm a bit behind, but look out for a September update post tomorrow. And then a bit of a different video coming out this weekend that I think everyone is going to enjoy. So look out for that. And then last month was kind of a dial back month. So we're back to 2 videos a week starting next week. So there will be a video Monday or Tuesday. And then from there, we'll get videos every like Monday and Friday, more or less. Starting a new channel called Shoujo Ojin. Keep an eye out. I'm on track for 100,000 followers. I hope you do. I hope you get 100,000 followers for sure. Anyway, thanks everybody. I will see you Monday for our next stream, and don't miss our next video.